Thank you so much for your warm words, and congratulations to everybody involved in organising this wonderful rally, and thank you to everybody giving up their Sunday night to join us. This is a real moment. I am not here to mourn. I'm not here just to shake my head in sadness, and I will not apologise for being angry. This moment was also not unpredictable. They have been going for our movement for many years, and it's not just the Labour Party and Jeremy Corbyn as an individual. And if we needed any more evidence of that, just last week, the fact that in America, the Trump administration has now called Amnesty International anti-Semitic. They have called Oxfam anti-Semitic. And over here in the UK, Gavin Williamson, who has been beyond incompetent, we thought Grant Shapps, couldn't be beaten on that front. But Gavin Williamson, who's made such a mess of education, still found the time and energy just last week to threaten British universities who so far have not signed up to the IHRA definition that their funding will be slashed. This is an assault on the freedom of speech. So let's get the battle line clear, because the sad reality is this, that in this battle, we have not even been able to name the battle line for fear of being branded racist. And I think the time has come to speak up. We have to get off our knees. We have to stop appeasing and start opposing. This is not a battle that any of us here in this rally wanted. We have seen time and time again how Jeremy, as an individual, the person of integrity that he is, the genuine gentle soul that he is, who tried everything for unity, who even when he was attacked by his own MPs in TV studios, threatened with resignations, walking out, called the most vile of names, he actually always responded with gentleness. There was no purge under his watch. But what happened? The only purge that happened actually was a purge of socialists. People have been suspended and expelled for actually even less than what Jeremy Corbyn himself now has been suspended for. So I'm going to name the elephant in the room, and that is this witch hunt against anybody who has any even tenuous link with standing up for the oppression of Palestinians. And if we think we've got it tough here now, just imagine what those people have been going through these last decades, when even naming their oppression has been called terrorism and extremism. And as one of the few Muslims on this lineup, I can tell you over the last 20 years since 9/11, I've been called extremist, I have been called terrorist, and more recently after joining the Labour Party, I've been called a misogynist and an anti-Semite, when of course all my life I've been fighting against these things. But yes, my crime was that I have from time to time dared to speak up for the rights of Palestinians. And now as NGOs across the world, as academic institutions across the world, as the Labour Party in this country has found that freedom to speak up, to even critique, that space has tried to be closed. And we're at the point where even in the Labour Party tonight, CLPs up and down the country have been told, don't you dare speak, don't you dare show support for Jeremy, which is why this rally is important, because we have to burst that bubble, because we cannot allow this self-censorship to actually stifle the actual resistance that's needed, not for ourselves, but for those people who are suffering because of COVID. I work in the NHS. I know what the front line is seeing. The first 10 doctors in the NHS who died because of COVID for treating their patients happened to be Muslim, of African and Asian origin. I know the disproportionate impact that COVID is having on BAME communities. I know of people who have been pulled out of their cars simply because they looked Muslim or happened to be Black. I know what racism is. I know what I have to tell my sons when they leave the house in terms of how they cannot draw any attention to themselves, how they have to be extra polite just in case they are misconstrued. We have lived under that kind of scrutiny and suspicion for many years. But I find my strength in standing up for other people, because I don't want other people to live like that. And tonight we're here for Jeremy, who's had everybody else's back, Jeremy, his whole life, who has dedicated to standing up for the people. So I'm not surprised that people around the world, not just here in this country, are standing up for him. But my plea tonight is not just to call for a reinstatement of Jeremy. These people have come out with knives and are slashing us, and we're putting up our hands with petitions to plead to them. No, my plea is to reinstate Jeremy, but also cut the censorship. We have to get this yoke, this stifling yoke of censorship off our backs and be able to have a free political debate on whatever issue, whether it's capitalism, whether it's Black Lives Matter, which are being actually suppressed in our schools as we speak. We are being told it's illegal for teachers to talk about white privilege. It's illegal to bring in anti-capitalist spokespeople. So this is an attack on our whole movement. These are not just words. This is a reality. So yes, get up. If you're in the Labour Party, yes, stay. I'm in the Labour Party right now. But if you're going to stay to speak up. We cannot stay and be silenced. And they kick us out for that, so be it, because the movement is bigger than the party. It's an important thing. We have first past the post system. You know, there are very limited options outside. I completely understand that. But this movement is never just about electoral politics. And the fact that we are now going back to a time when the establishment can now rely on both main parties to be singing off the same hymn sheet, that is not a good thing for democracy. So stay in and fight. Don't leave, organise, but that's going to take all of us speaking up. And the reality is this: if enough of us don't succumb to the fear, if enough of us are prepared to speak up, there is actually very little they can do. When the right wing decided to make trouble in the party, when they even organised to disrupt the campaign which could have led to a Labour government, they've actually been rewarded with six-figure sums rather than being chucked out. But they managed to make themselves pay. But we on the left are not here to sabotage for the sake of sabotage. We are here to make sure we stand up for all Black people who are suffering racism, for Jewish people who face anti-Semitism, for people around the world who are oppressed in the name of our country with our arms being used to kill and bomb them. We are here for a real climate change deal. We stand for a Green New Deal. We are unapologetic about demanding public services to remain in public hands. But all those fights, we are now fighting with one hand behind our back if we continue to ignore the battle line of the witch hunt. Let's call it out. We refuse to criminalize dissent against the Israeli government. Let's call it what it is. Stand up, speak up. We are many. That's what they're afraid of. Let's not silence ourselves. Thank you very much.